Okay. All right. We are live. How we looking? All right. We're on the brink, man. We are on the brink. Do we hold this? The weekly candle does look scary, but I mean, at the same time, the week's not finished. So we'll see. I still have some shorts open. I probably should have just closed them already. But I guess I'll keep them open. They're not shorts on Bitcoin. I would be more interested in longing Bitcoin here. Ethereum, I'd love to see Ethereum get down to this level 2717 before considering shorting or longing it. So we'll see. We'll see how we go. I'm going to go live on TikTok. As always, for YouTube members, I will prioritize the YouTube chat. So hope everyone's doing well. Oh, all right. People have been notified. I can see. So I'm going to make my way through some pistachios here. I see some familiar names. Yeah, smash up that like button. Thank you, LaBelle. Anthony. Good morning, Albert. Well, actually, it's noon for me. So good afternoon from where I am. Literally noon. If you commented a few seconds earlier, good afternoon, fisherman, father. Afternoon, Matthew. What do we want to talk about? WTF was that HEEHEE pump all about? I don't know. Somebody bought a lot. And then, here we go. Yeah, so I don't know. Somebody bought a lot of HEEHEE, and I think they sold it. So it happens. I don't know. Guys, you can buy HEEHEE on Coinbase now, like legit Coinbase, not Coinbase Wallet. So let's see. All right. Gold. Yeah, that fisherman father on YouTube wants to talk about gold. I'm done trying to. I gave up on gold, like trying to call tops on gold a long time ago. It just makes you look more and more stupid. The thing we're not used to with metals is that if they're gonna bore you to death for so long, don't be surprised if they bore you to death. Or if they pump, excuse me, if they do the opposite of bore you to death, if they pump for longer than you expect. If this was Bitcoin pumping like this, we all would know that Bitcoin would not pump for as long as gold's been pumping. It's been like 9 months. I mean, there was a chop from like April to July, but it's been 9 months of just gold just going straight up pretty much. So why is everything crashing? Guys, it is inevitable. And sorry for my son in the background. It is inevitable. Bitcoin is going to the 70s. It's okay. It might even go lower than that. It's okay. Timeline at the bottom of what you were doing, buying or sitting on hands. I believe we will bottom out in the second quarter of this year. If not Bitcoin, altcoins will. And that's not a bold statement for me. That's when altcoins bottomed in 2022. So I want the dump ASAP. Yeah, me too. I have very little crypto right now. No way, that's cool. Oh, yeah. There a lot. You could buy a lot of Solana meme coins on Coinbase. You could buy Fat Cat, Solnick. They just opened it up to the Solana ecosystem. Good shout out on the AXS short. Yeah, thank you, Matthew. I got some hate for that. I got some hate for in that post. You know, somebody commented like, "Is this your first time?" Yeah, I guess it's my first time. Now, the one thing that kind of stinks for me, I did short Axie Infinity. I shorted it at a good time, but I didn't know, at least with my exchange, the fees on Axie Infinity, it's insane. So I'm kind of bleeding right now. I need it to just flush out. Silver is crashing the market. I mean, stock market's doing fine. Silver, it's another one. I mean, I see something go the way that silver's been going lately, and I'm like, nah, I'm not touching that. But I'm not crazy enough to call the top. Someone said Bitcoin can go down to 29K. That's a little excessive, but listen, I know you don't want to hear this from me. I'm open to any possibility. I know somebody who believes Bitcoin's going down to $4,000. He legitimately believes that. Do I agree with him? Absolutely not. But, you know, he's this particular person. All right, you came in on another BSC low tax. You came in, I blocked you on a different account, and now you're back. Good luck. Anyway, let's see. So no relief rally. We might have already had the relief rally, unfortunately. There are some things structurally that look the same to 2020. So that move to 98K might have been the relief rally, but it's too early to say that. You know, I mean, we're right at support. Everything that I've talked about in my videos, we're at the 100-week EMA right now. I mean, we're below it, but it could just be a wick. It's too early to call. Do you think we will have a bear market, bull market like before? Are we in a pre-bear market? We are in a bear market, and we will go lower. Not, it's my opinion. But the thing that I keep on saying over and over again is that that this bear market is not going to be as bad as previous ones, not even close. So HEEHEE mental today. So yeah, there's a lot of HEEHEE buying yesterday, and I'm guessing the person who bought a bunch of HEEHEE sold it. I don't care. Do you, man. Yeah, I can see that's exactly what happened. Okay, congratulations, whoever you are. So be it. Any longs or shorts you're eyeing or have? I am in 3 shorts right now. One on Axie Infinity, one on XRP, and one on Solana. XRP and Solana are more like swing trades. The thing about both of those are that they're at critical levels. If they happen to lose some levels of support, they're going to dump really hard, and I think they will. Like they're going to dump, like let's say Bitcoin gets to 70 something or in the 60s. I think XRP and Solana are going to dump a lot more than that. They must have lost money. There was this one time, I think it was in August or September, that somebody bought like $40,000 of HEEHEE and sold it in one clip. And I was like, I remember that person, and I remember just being like, I just don't trust this. I'm not going to get too excited about this. And then when they sold in one clip, I was like, good. I'm glad I didn't get too excited about it. You think until April it's down only for alts? There'll be ups and downs, but listen, guys, I'm only shorting crypto, and I'm making gains from that in my trading portfolio. I'm losing elsewhere, but in my trading portfolio, it's just like you got to go with the flow of the market. That was really difficult in 2025 because it was just one big distribution pattern. But right now, the trend is down. And until we see some signs of reversal, that's where it's going to be. There will be pumps. I have buying now. It's accumulation time. For certain cryptos, I made a video on yesterday categorizing cryptos into four different categories. 2 of them are categories I'm not interested in buying these cryptos. Watch the video, World War Bitcoin on YouTube. And then the other 2 categories are categories that I am interested in buying those cryptos. We bullish, not. Axie Infinity short. Yeah, I got some heat for that, but it's, you know, I'm up. I'm up on my short, which means it's down. I'm bullish now when it's in fear. Oh, yeah, Riot bull flagging while Bitcoin dumps. I just, you know, King or whatever, Crown, I don't know what to call you. I remember those kind of comments in 2022, 2018. And it's like, you know, the market was in extreme fear in January of 2022, and then Bitcoin went down 66% from its price in January of 2022. So I'm not, you know, if you're holding and you're hoping that we've bottomed out, I could see that you would be in extreme fear, but I'm not one of those people. Yeah, the Riot chart looks very bullish, even though Bitcoin does not. If XRP dumps, that means that went on sale and I will stack more. Absolutely. I'm sorry to say this. I hope XRP dumps. I want to buy a lot of XRP. What was your entry on the Solana short? It was 126. It was 125.97. It's a very key level. That's been a level of support for 2 years. And so I've been biding my time and waiting for it to actually lose that support, like on a weekly candle, because then that short will print. Now, it could go back above 126. It could do that easily. And, you know, maybe I'll move my stop loss to a point where it's like I'll break even or something. But at some point, I want to be in that short. I want to stay in it. User 769, thanks for the follow. Do you see Mars reaching November 2024 prices for altcoins? TARS? Oh, TARS. Wait, I don't know what you're saying. If you're talking about TARS, no, you can't be talking about TARS. Thank you, Hypermen. TARS at buying time. It's pretty flat. I'm okay with flat. You still think we will ever see 160K Bitcoin? Oh, yeah. I mean, what we're seeing with gold and silver, people have such short memories. You know, over the last 5 years, Bitcoin has outperformed gold and silver by a significant amount. The fact that gold and silver are now doing what they're doing in the stock market is still, you know, reaching new all-time highs while crypto is not. Like, I think we'll see 160 in 2027. Hello, Liza. If Bitcoin dumps, altcoins would be demolished. Some would. But Bitcoin dominance is pretty much just staying flat because we are no longer in a period of tightening. We're in a period of quantitative easing. Or not easing, forgive me. Tightening's over. Riot double bottom bull flag looks set for 23 next. Guys, yeah, I know it sounds crazy. I'm super bullish on Bitcoin miners right now. But you got to understand what's going on with Bitcoin miners. They have another source of income, of revenue. And that's with these AI data centers. They have all the infrastructure needed to capitalize on this AI data center stuff, the AI boom. Been a while. Glad to see you back. Thank you. My main account got banned. I am losing hope that I'll ever get it back. This is my new account. What price are you looking to buy XRP? Under $1. I don't necessarily have an entry. It's still so far away. But I'll DCA under $1. I think it will get there. Where do you see Bitcoin in December of this year? How about $105,000? Like trending upward, ready to break a new all-time high in 2027. Sorry, I'm almost done with these pistachios. Thoughts on when the Clarity Act could get passed? No, none. DT, what's up, my man? Much love to you. The government moves a lot slower than we tend to think. So I don't have any thoughts on the Clarity Act. Thoughts on investing, y'all, Josh? I like him. You know, he seems like a good guy. You know, I don't know a ton about him. Somebody, the first person who ever recognized me in public, like we talked for a while, and he told me he really likes investing, y'all, Josh. So I watched some of his videos. It seems like a decent guy. 1% move in gold is almost $3 trillion. So yeah, here's some perspective on gold, guys. Up until 2022, central banks around the world were buying about 500 tons of gold. They were accumulating about 500 tons of gold a year. In 2022, that number jumped to 1,000 tons of gold. And it stayed at about 1,000 tons of gold. And so you think about gold in 2022, what was happening? There really wasn't, you know, the price increases were being suppressed by supply that people wanted to sell to take their profits, you know, to make their gains. And then, you know, at 1,000 tons, the way it worked itself out is, you know, 2023, gold went up a little bit. 2024 went up a decent amount. 2025 was this big year. Supply could no longer keep up with demand. And now gold is just going crazy because it's recalibrating based off this excess demand. And so my encouragement to you with Bitcoin is just be patient, because something similar happened in 2024, where all of a sudden we have these spot Bitcoin ETFs that are acquiring a lot of Bitcoin, and we're seeing retirement accounts DCAing into Bitcoin. And like, there will be a reckoning of that, and Bitcoin will go vertical, but we are on. With that, it's not like a 4-year cycle timeline. It's just, it's the timeline that, and we've seen a lot of distribution from older wallets as Bitcoin's price rose. And so that it's the same thing's going to happen as with gold. Thank you, Method Maverick, for the follow, and Rock, thanks for the follow. Thoughts on AVAX? I'm kind of regretting my AVAX purchase. I'm okay buying AVAX at $11. Its bear market bottom last time was what, 867. I think it is going to go below its bear market bottom. But Avalanche, people buy cryptos that people use. People use Avalanche. So they don't use it as much as Solana, but there is a use case. That's what I want to buy. And you know, at some point it will be at an extreme discount. I'll buy a lot of Avalanche. Stream with Ski tomorrow at 10 a.m. Yes. Oh, shoot, Carter. Good. I'm glad you got it figured out. I didn't have an answer for you there. Gordon Brown sold all the UK gold at $250 an ounce. Ouch. What do you think of the recent market drop? Good price to DCA and Link after your recent video. Link, I'm very comfortable. If you wanted to DCA into Chainlink right now, sure, yeah, we can go down more. Like I said, I think Chainlink's bottom would be around $9.50. So can you survive a 20% drop if that happens? It'd be less than a 20% drop. You know, it might wick below that level, but yeah, I think Chainlink's fine. Gold is dumping. I I would be careful saying gold is dumping. Now, listen, we've got to be at some point. We've got to get to a top here. But gold on a daily candle. Okay, gold got up to $5,600 some less than 24 hours ago, and now it's at 5,300. Okay, you know, silver earlier this week got up to like 118 and then dumped to 103. I just don't want to be one of these people who's like, oh, see, the silver top's in, the gold top is in, and then silver got back up to 120. You know, just let it play itself out. Chainlink macro chart looks so choppy. I mean, look at Monero, Will. Look at Monero all throughout the previous bear market. There's nothing about this that screams like, oh, baby, you know, this thing's going to rip super hard. All throughout 2024, Monero didn't really do much. While some other cryptos like Solana went crazy, but then Monero had its time. I think Chainlink could be in a similar position. Josh is my bull news, you're my balance, and James my bear. That's good. That's good. Gold is not rotating the Bitcoin. They are dumping together. I got off that gold rotation to Bitcoin train a long time ago, and I am sorry for ever saying that. That has happened historically. And it probably, actually, let me get a little bit back on that train. It probably will happen again at some point. But I think what the mistake that people make is like, any day now. That's the problem. So DXY is pumping. All right, let me look at the DXY. I made a tweet, very important. Is it pumping? No, I mean, I wish I could show you guys my chart on YouTube, but TikTok doesn't like it. The DXY looks like it's losing a 15-year trend line. And what comes after this is most likely, I've looked at charts that other people have presented on X. You compare it to the euro, you compare it to the pound, you compare it to a lot of other currencies. What it looks like we are entering right now is a 10 to 15 year where those currencies outperform the US dollar. So you could say the DXY is pumping, but you're zooming in a little too much. LCX. LCX's chart actually looks okay. You know, it's not terrible. I wouldn't buy LCX right now. I would wait for it to chop for quite a while before being interested in buying it. Because I think what happens after this is seller exhaustion, but lack of buyer interest. So would you put AVAX in category 2 or 3? AVAX, I know not many people know what you're talking about. I guess I would put it in category 3. But it might actually be a floorless crypto in the fact that if it's going to go below its previous bear market bottom and it does not have good tokenomics. So, yeah, I don't know. That's why I didn't include it in the video. Do you have an opinion on Sonic because it changed the name from FTM and dumped ever since, but now it's 0.006 FTM? Yeah, I hate it when they do that. I mean, this looks pretty floorless to me now that I'm looking at it. I would wait. Even now, I would wait. Do you think it's too late to buy gold and silver miners? Yes, I do. Yeah. I think it's too late. Any thought BFS? What's BFS? I don't know what BFS is. I'm sorry. I never expected to see XRP at the price it is. Thought more what? You thought it was going to go higher or lower? Thoughts on copper? You know, you want to talk about rotation? I know a lot of people are expecting a rotation instead of from gold to Bitcoin. They're expecting a rotation from, well, I mean, it looks like it's already happening. You know, I would ride the hot hand. I have some copper miners that I'm still holding on to. You know, the stocks. I would wait a little bit. I'd wait for the 20-week EMA. Copper has lots of interaction even when it gets really hot with its 20-week EMA. So the 20-week EMA is at like 550 right now, but copper is at 625. I'd hold off a little bit on that. Thoughts on AR? That's pretty floorless. I hope you guys understand what I mean when I say that. Arweave is below its previous bear market bottom, and so where's the floor? That's kind of my general mindset. I don't want to buy any floorless cryptos right now. Safe to DCA Solana, AVAX, Pengu, especially if able to stake both AVAX and Sol. I'm more comfortable with AVAX than Solana. The thing about Solana is that if it loses its support, which it looks like it's going to lose, then it's going to dump really hard because there's very little support below where it is right now. Good morning. Do you think silver money will rotate into Bitcoin? I kind of answered that. I might have answered that question while you were asking it, and I'm gonna just plead the fifth on that. It's painful on X, that discussion. I think I know what you're referring to. Wealth Engineer, thanks for the follow. WorldCoin thoughts. I don't think about it much, but let's see. I mean, the chart looks terrible. The supply still, it's a lot of work to do to get that supply closer to diluted, you know. I wouldn't touch it. Not yet. Let's see. Thoughts about buying Quant around $70. Quant, I'm more comfortable with Quant. But I mean, you know, if Bitcoin is going to the 70s, which I'm convinced it is, then Quant can go lower. I mean, you know, yeah, you know, I have to say it's okay. I have to say it is okay to buy Quant at $70. You might have some short-term pain, but Quant's a decent one. Is XRP a good buy at $1.80? The thing that I'll say again about XRP, it's just like Solana. If it loses the support level that it's at right now, it's going to dump really hard. So this might be it. You know, is there a bounce from here with XRP? I don't know, because it is at support, but I am afraid that it is going to lose that support. Yeah, AR already mentioned that. Whatever happened to HEEHEE? I lost a nice chunk with that bad boy back in the day. LOL. LOL. I mean, I'm buying HEEHEE, man. I want to accumulate as much as possible. I want to remind you guys. I mean, every live show, it's like I can't avoid it. You know, I know. Yeah, there's people who made money, people who lost money. I lost more than you did. I'm certain of that. I'm still in it. I'm still involved. There's no point in marketing HEEHEE right now. None at all. It was launched at the peak of the closest thing we got to Euphoria in March of 2024. And so that's what happened to it, but still in. Rotate into oil stocks. Yes. Yes. I hate to say this. Like oil's going to $250 a barrel, and that's going to be a nightmare. Oil looks super bullish right now. Now, I mean, it's really hot at this moment. But oil's going much higher. JM is the GOAT in this market. And those who worship him are the GOAT bootlickers too. So if I get in spot today, am I catching a falling knife? Yes. What's your thoughts about Ethereum? Ethereum is probably... let me pull up the chart. I did talk about Ethereum in my YouTube video yesterday. 2717 is a very key level of support. It is probably going to lose that eventually. There is a level of interest for me at around $1,700, where I'd be very interested. I could see that happening where Ethereum gets there around the time, if we saw Bitcoin in the 70s or 60s, that Ethereum would get to 1700. You think Solana's floor is around 124? No, that's like the support level. But if it loses that, which I think it will, then it's going to go much lower. HEEHEE went up 33% today at one point. Lots of room for higher if continued buying. I mean, I'm still hoping, especially if Solana loses that floor, that's half of HEEHEE's liquidity is Solana, and I want to buy it. I want to buy it at a lower price. Thoughts on ICP? I'm okay. I'd be okay buying some ICP right now. You know, it is back down to its previous bear market bottom. It's probably going to go a little bit lower. I'm not even going to look at that chart. That's disgusting. Bear market confirmed. What do you see Bitcoin bottoming at? 75,000 around there, but maybe even lower than that. Oh, will VET reach half a cent? Probably. Now VET, man, I'm blown away that it lost its previous bear market bottom. You know? So, we'll see. But that's one, yeah, I want to buy. Goomba, thanks for the follow. Thank you for the super chat on YouTube. I'm really tempted to say the Foregone, but I've never seen this username before. That's got to be Foregone. Is longing uni now catching a falling knife? It looks like it. You know, it's 2023 bottom, December 2023 bottom. Maybe I'd be interested in longing at like 386. Dude, I just jumped on about how spot on were you about this dump? I called for a rejection at the 50-week in the 20-week EMA, which is where, you know, we got to 98K. Now, I did call for, and I am questioning this now, I called for a move up to the 200-day moving average. But if we lose this level of support, you know, the 21-week EMA, sorry, the 50-week EMA, oh my goodness. The 100-week EMA is at like $86,000. If we see a weekly close below $86,000, we're probably moving down from here and not going up to the 200-day. HEEHEE, Fat Cat, and Solnick, only influencer tokens I trust. Yeah, same. I agree. All right, sorry, thoughts on Crow token. Yeah, sorry, I missed that, Will. 66 billion reissued tokens. Might have missed my last comment. Yeah, that sucks. I forgot about that. Now, they're not stupid. They're not going to just dump that on us at the bear market bottoms. They're going to do whatever they can to pump their token as high as possible and then dump on us. And maybe they already did that, you know, with that big pump late in 2025. What oil stock would you recommend? I'll give you two. One of them is called OIH. They're ETFs. So OIH is VanEck Oil Services ETF, and WTI is West Texas Intermediate Crude Oil Cash, or just U.S. crude oil spot. Pengu floor price is probably floorless. You guys know what I mean by that, right? It's a meme coin. But the thing about meme coins, just be very patient with something like Pengu. Because what happens with meme coins historically is that they go dead flat for a really long time, and then they explode out of nowhere when they're ready. That's what that Dogecoin, I remember early 2024, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, they just exploded. Pepe, they just exploded. But Dogecoin and Shiba Inu, that entire bear market, were just straight up flat. So Pengu, that's going to be the same thing. Are we in a bear market? Yes. I wasn't criticizing you about Jam. I wasn't taking it as criticism. Sorry, my apologies. Looks like we are poised to go into Iran. Do you think that'll be the catalyst for a crypto bottom? Maybe. Maybe. You know, I mean, I don't really pay attention to the news. The charts tell the news better than the news does. And it seems like whenever charts bottom, that's when some big news event is dropped. So, yeah. Will VET go to 0.004? BZ, I can't analyze this. VET in 2022 did not go that low. It could, sure, I don't know. So if you think Bitcoin will reach 75, you think XRP and Solana are going to crash below support. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Yes. Yes, I think so. HK Mike, thanks for the follow. We're full on in the bear market. We are, yes. Killa on X called this dump with his pivots. Yeah, I started following him less than a month ago. Now he's full of himself. You know, 3/4 of his tweets are like self-gratification or whatever you want to call it. I can't stand it, but he knows his stuff. So good. I'll pay attention to what he says. And we've been pretty aligned with our short-term views of the market, except, you know, something that he said kind of informed. I shared a tweet of his in my second most recent, no, I think it was my most recent short form video that you can see on TikTok here. I shared a chart of his that made me question, you know, if 98K, Bitcoin going to 98K was that move, that bull trap move that I was waiting for, and that it's now behind us instead of in front of us. Shell PLC looks bullish as well. All right. Shell PLC. Oh, is that just Shell? It reminds you of ETH. This chart reminds me kind of like of Bitcoin Cash. Or maybe not. I don't know. I think it looks good. Rysentine exploding. I'm not surprised. You like Render? I like Render fundamentally. I like it as a bear market buy. I don't like it right now. Do you like DCA here or not yet? Not yet. Although, watch the YouTube video I made yesterday. There's some that I'm okay with DCAing. Fair value guy, I see your comment. Okay. BTC, what about it? Do you FW pump fund? I think the pump.fund token can do very well at the proper time. That's all I'll say about pump.fund. XRP can go to $1. I believe so. Highest conviction short-term play on this downturn leverage-wise. Shorting Solana and XRP, doing like a 1 or 2x short. Moxie, Disco, thanks for the follow. XRP likes to go back to 41 cents, guys. I wouldn't be surprised, yeah. You know the market is bad when Microsoft is down 12%. Yeah, today is just a red day overall. Let's see here. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. I might try to, I mean, I don't want to catch a falling knife, but I'm tempted. Yeah, I'm kind of tempted on that. Orty. There's one I haven't looked at in a long time. I'm assuming this thing's dead. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't touch that. Can Render go to $1? BZ, please stop asking questions like that. I'm sorry. I just, you know, I like you. You're a good, you're in here all the time. I'm really exhausted with questions like that. How you doing, man? Better DCA into Bitcoin or stables and wait? honestly, you know, I'm never going to blame anyone for DCAing into Bitcoin. I kind of DCA into Bitcoin, you know. But I think Bitcoin is going to the 70s, and it might go lower than that. So personally, I wouldn't want to just go all in with a DCA when I have a lot of conviction that Bitcoin's going to the 70s. Coinbase is worth a 2x short. What do you mean by that, Will? Thoughts on Uni? Uni is either losing some critical support right now, or it's the perfect time to get in. One or the other. You know, I guess you want to do you want to long it with a tight stop if you're listening foregone. WTI comes up as WT offshore 220. All right, WTI, that doesn't sound right. No. It's at 65.8. Short on SPY next few months. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a short-term peak and, you know, stock market went down, but I don't think that will be the peak. Hello, Suki. Have you looked at Midnight Coin? I have not. From the Solana founder. Wait, Solana or Cardano, excuse me. Wow, it's so I mean it did what cryptos do, shot up really hard and then corrected. I have no thoughts based on the chart. If you say Bitcoin goes to 70s, where would ETH reach? I'm targeting about $1,700. Thoughts on Pengu? I wouldn't touch it right now. I would wait for a long time for it to chop. It's worth shorting Coinbase with 2x leverage. Where can you do that, though? That's the question I'm kind of wondering, Will. No pump to 95K before it dropped to 75K? Oh, it's certainly possible. But, Eric, the thing that I just want to reiterate, we are either, like, we're below support, but it's I mostly pay attention to weekly candles. So if this week closes below the 100-week EMA, then I do think we're going to 75 over the next few weeks. But if we can close above the 100-week EMA, then we're just holding support again. And okay, you know what? We'll go higher. So what is a good buy to buy right now in your opinion? You know, nothing much for crypto. I would buy uranium stocks, copper stocks, and oil stocks and ETFs. And Bitcoin miners. And you know what? If you want to throw some money at Bitcoin Cash seems to not care about bull markets and bear markets anymore. I was going to take my usual DCA and divide it between Bitcoin and USDC. That sounds fine. Sambo, thank you. So you think we're going to drop? Guys, please listen. Please listen to what I'm saying. We are at support. We're a little bit below support. If we close the weekly candle below support, then yes, I think we're going to drop. If we close above support, then my thesis remains the same, that we're going to go up. We're going to rally to the 200-day, which is a little above $100,000. Sambo's targeting 78K. I think we're going to go a little lower than that, but, you know, maybe you're right. How about silver miner stocks? Gold and silver miners, yes. Down about 20% in Pengu right now. Do you think it's smarter to sell or hold? How patient are you, Anthony? Because Pengu can go lower. I think at some point, maybe you'll have to wait a year, maybe more. I wouldn't be surprised if you had to wait for more than a year. You will be in profit. I'm convinced of it. So, you know, you're down about 20%. That could turn into down 40%. That could turn into down more than that, you know? But at some point you'll be in profit. I'm not going to give you a yes or no. I'm not going to give you the answer you want. You need to think about it through for yourself. You look a little sleepy today, crypto wearing on everyone. I'm fine. I mean, my sleepiness has nothing to do with crypto. You know, I have a lot of responsibilities in my life that have nothing to do with crypto. I have a family in my church. The wife, for some reason, can't sleep. She sleeps 1 to 4 hours a night, and it's torturing her. She has 2 children. I don't want to give any more information than that, other than she was checked into the hospital yesterday for mental issues. And that weighs a lot heavier on my heart right now than the crypto is. And I have examples that I could give you that have nothing to do with crypto. One of my best friends is one of the best men that I have ever known in my life. And the amount of hate that man gets, it is insane. People viciously hate this man for his virtues. That's what gets me tired, okay? It's not crypto. Hello, High Star. What's the number of support? Just say 86,000, the 100 week EMA. When does weekly candle close? Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, United States. Would you say when gold and silver lose their shine, money is going to move into crypto? I think that's a very popular thing to say. But who knows, man? When do gold and silver lose their shine? You know, gold and silver a few months ago broke a 45-year cup and handle pattern. So is it only going to be 3 months of explosive price action, or will it be more than that? I've given up trying to analyze that. Gold and silver are way overbought. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not buying any of it right now. Thoughts on XRP? Yeah, I've talked about XRP. It's at very critical support. I think if it loses it, which I think it will, it's going to go down really hard. I've been losing to crypto for a couple years, so I'm pretty patient. Yeah, just hold on then. Not financial advice. Only thing I'm buying is Ondo and Pith on this beautiful red day. Ondo and Pith. Ondo can go a lot lower. I mean, man, it's down another 8% today. That's the problem. That's the thing I talked about in my YouTube. You guys got to watch my YouTube video from yesterday. These cryptos that I'm calling floorless cryptos, there's no floor. Ondo has no floor. So I love Ondo. I'm perfectly, I can't wait to buy Ondo. I'm just not touching it right now. You know, Pith looks kind of bottomed out, I guess. Stacks, somebody asked about bullish on Stacks, STX. I don't like the chart. Chart looks terrible. It's close to, you know, maybe it's going to lose its previous bear market bottom. I don't know. At some point, I'll be bullish on Stacks. Not right now. Oh, wait. Coinbase is a stock, so we can short it in the UK on normal stock trading platforms and not crypto platforms. Oh, wow. Okay. We can't do that in the United States, I don't think. No wonder you're tired. Yeah. Haven't sold yet at all. That sucks. Should I reload or think she's going lower? I think she's going lower. Postpartum depression hopefully will pass. Yeah, there's other details that I won't share. Yeah, LaBelle, thank you. Hi, I just joined what's happening with Bitcoin. It might be losing support, and if it does, it's going to go to the 70s. 86,000. Wow, it's now under. Guys, the thing you got to remember about crypto is on a red day, it looks like the world is going to end, and on next day things could flip on a dime. So I'm not, if we lose 86,000 on the weekly candle, so be it. But we can certainly rise by $1,500. STX, no inflation. Hey, that's good. Good to know, Will. Thank you for that. Let's see. Some investors who like crypto and see how it's at the lows will rotate from silver to crypto like me. Okay, yeah, that's a good point, fair value guy. What was the overall dip about? Gold lost $300 to $400. Guys, you're zooming in too much, please. I'm looking. I'll go on the daily candle. The daily candle. I mean, you're literally talking about hours for an asset that is as old as Earth, and has been a currency for 6,000 years. You're talking about hours. And this red candle, which, okay, it's on today's candle, it's down 1%. So that doesn't mean it's over. That doesn't mean there's anything about it. It shot up to $5,600. Now there's some profit taking, whatever. So, and I'm saying that as a guy who's very ready for gold and silver to have topped. Riot 4-hour candle is bullish. Hey, lots of buying on that dip. That's a strong wick, yeah. Thoughts on Maxi Doge release in 8 hours? I'm not paying attention to any new cryptos right now. Ondo sucks. I like Ondo, but to each his own. Right now it sucks. When will we test the 200 week for Bitcoin? I'm thinking if it happens second quarter of this year. There are a lot of altcoins already dipped 70, 80%. You expect more downside with these alts. Oil baby, it's all good, man. It's all good. I made a video yesterday on YouTube, World War Bitcoin. Watch the video. I categorize it into 4 different categories. One of those categories is cryptos that actually did well in 2024 and 2025. And those cryptos can go down more. While others that are just, they've been flat the whole time, they can remain flat. It's a case-by-case basis. I know that crypto does tend to move all in one lump. It feels that way, but that's not quite reality. So there's 4 different categories of cryptos in that video. 2 of the categories are cryptos I wouldn't touch, and 2 of the categories are cryptos I would touch. It's all good. XLM, please. Ugh. Rough couple of days here for XLM. XLM is unfortunately one of those cryptos that, it's the same deal with XRP. XLM is probably going to lose this last level of support and go down under 10 cents. Sui, 130. Sui's in rough shape right now. 140 was the last line of support for Sui. Where does Sui go from here? Probably, easily under $1. Maybe under 60 cents. How about XMR? So listen, I'm really liking XMR. It's on my radar a lot more than other cryptos. And given how much it's down from its peak, we may be near a time where it's okay to buy. And I'll even say this, in the future, one day after a long period of chop and boredom with XMR, I'll be interested in loading up aggressively on it. But given how much it's spiked lately, this is not quite something that I'd be looking to accumulate. Aside from the fact that this is now, like 6 months ago, if you asked me which cryptos I would be okay holding long term, I would have told you 1, Bitcoin. Now that answer is up to 3. It might actually be 4. So Monero is on that list. I'm okay holding Monero long term. I'm okay holding Bitcoin Cash long term. Tron is like number. I'm 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 open to Tron. If things pan out and cryptos goes down, when would you say it will go back up? End of the year. If we bottom in the second quarter, which I think we will, we'll probably chop throughout the remainder of the second quarter. Maybe start climbing a little bit in the third quarter. End of year, it'll be clear that the bottom was in. But just remember, if we bottom in the second quarter, there's going to be a lot of people saying that we're going to go lower. Why did everything sell off today? Was there news? Not that I know of. I don't really pay attention to news. Oh, sorry. There was a good comment about Ondo here. Fair value guy. So Ondo is in a fair value gap now. 25 to 20 cents looks like a prime entry zones to me. You might be right. That was one place I had in my head is like 20 to 25 cents maybe. I fear that, what if it loses that? Where does it go from there? Thoughts on Chainlink? I like Chainlink. I've already talked about it. I think it could go down as low as 950, something like that. I looked at the chart earlier. But that's a safer one to buy right now. How low will Ondo go? Yeah, who knows? Maybe 20 to 25 cents. Thank you, more horsepower, for praying for me. Okay, good. I'll wait till it goes to nothing and reload. Yeah, what happened to me? I don't know. I think instead of buying crypto the last 2 years, I should have been buying silver and gold. I mean, obviously in hindsight. And you don't hear much about metals from crypto bros, but I have mentioned I've always loved metals. I fell in love with metals at the worst possible time in 2011. But now that metals are scorching hot, I don't think it's a good idea to buy metals. I think within the next couple of years, it's going to be a really good idea to buy metals. I know Pengu has no floor right now, but don't you see this going to 20 cents next bull market? I mean, if I've given an answer like that in the past, I need to reevaluate everything. A 20x from here, that seems possible. Thank you, Matthew. Grateful you'll be able to switch to bull stance as market changes. So many influencers remain bullish. That's what gets clicks. That's what gets less hate. And I can't believe there's still people out there, people who promised you 2025 was going to be this life-changing year, and they're still going. I thought they would have given up by now. But here we are. It just wrecks people, yeah. The only thing that's up in my portfolio is precious metals right now. Yep. Gold will always be a good asset to own. Yes. Awesome. Thank you. You're welcome. What are the odds we lose support on the weekly candle? I don't have odds for you, so how about I'll take the easy way out and say 50-50. Which copper stocks do you like? SCCO. SCCO. You've been watching Jam. I have not watched a Jam video or seen a Jam tweet since in at least 3 months. What's the main reason for this market dump? I don't think there's a specific reason that I can point to. You don't like Chainlink. I like Chainlink. Would you be comfortable holding VeChain and Render? VeChain more than Render. Render is still a decent amount above its previous bear market bottom. VeChain is not. Many will miss the bottom. Agreed. Yeah, I watch my portfolio charts every single day. 25 cents and 20 cent Ondo is an order block. You're making a good case, fair value guy. Fed holding rates may be the news. I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but like, it was a 90, it was like a 98% chance that they were not going to cut rates. Maybe you're right. What fundamentals about Bitcoin Cash make it desirable to hold long term and much more resistant in the bear? Here's the thing about Bitcoin Cash. The reason why I used to hate Bitcoin Cash, but I like it. And it started with a comment on a YouTube video where I was trashing Bitcoin Cash. where this guy who lives in a third world country, it was a very kind comment. He could have trashed me in that video, in that comment. But he said that he uses in transacts with Bitcoin Cash, and that he likes it a lot more than his whatever country he's in, his currency, which makes sense because, you know, currencies in third world countries lose their value very quickly. So people actually use Bitcoin Cash. It's not just him. Like, people actually use Bitcoin Cash. And when you think about what Bitcoin was designed to be, that's what Bitcoin Cash is, a peer-to-peer transacting, you know, between individuals. That's what Bitcoin Cash is. Now, I'm always going to like Bitcoin more than Bitcoin Cash. There's no doubt. But Bitcoin Cash has found its niche, and it's actually being helpful to people in less fortunate circumstances where they can't rely on their own currencies. So if you were to look up the metrics on usage of Bitcoin Cash, it's like people will use and buy Bitcoin Cash for as their currency. How about copper? Talked a lot about copper already. That may be, you know, copper's done very well lately, but it might be the next thing to break out. Alex, how cooked are we? If you are down big, you haven't sold any, and you need to make gains right away, you are 100% cooked. You are so well done that even like the middle of the steak is charred. That's how cooked you are. If that's not true of you, and you have sold some, or you're willing to wait, and you're willing to ride this out, we're not cooked. Thoughts on ARRR? What is that? You're not talking about Arweave, are you? Yeah, I don't know what this is. Pirate Chain? Oh, Pirate Chain? I don't know if I've ever looked at this chart. I mean, hey, you know, it looks bottomed out. Looks like it's an accumulation. I don't know anything about it fundamentally, but what's the scoop on ETH staking in ETF still coming through? No idea. I haven't been paying attention. If crypto does not explode in 2026, is it over for crypto then? No. Double chop, just like 2021. We got a relief rally before a 50% drop. The chart looks exact same. Yes, Leroy. But if we close the week below the 100-week EMA, which is not what happened in 2022, we might have already had our relief rally. That might be behind us. Could XRP go to... Thank you, V, for moderating. Could XRP go to 50 cents? It's within the realm of possibility, yes. Good thing about Coinbase is if you have Bitcoin and ETH and you need cash, you can borrow against them. That is a beautiful thing about crypto. But I only do that to buy more dividend stocks. Oh, okay. Always here. Nice. On my VC algorithm, it shows that bottom will be soon. Indicator. Okay. I think I understand what you're saying. Soon. What do you mean by soon? Because I might agree with you soon. If you're talking about a week, I don't think so. If you're talking about, where's the 100-week EMA? 86,000. If you're talking about like a couple months, I think so. Just joined. What are we buying during this dip? I'm not buying any crypto during this dip. You could talk me into Bitcoin Cash. And actually, looking at the Monero chart, you could talk me into Monero as well. Other than that, no. No, thank you. Could I talk you into Tau? Let's look at Tau. Tau, maybe. For a scalp or like a very short-term swing trade, yes, you could. Yeah. If USA attacks Iran, black flag, good point to invest then? Yes, please. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm getting all these spam calls. It's insane, man. I'm getting so many spam calls. Next week, brother, more like not week. Okay. Yeah, not weeks. Q2, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Q2. In the next few days, is it likely for us to have a small relief rally back to 190 for XRP? That's possible, yeah. I'm buying Ride on the dip. I think that's a good one. All right, guys, it's about time for me to go. I got some things to do. Got to get my kids at school after that. So let's let this live. I'm gonna say something that I hope is encouraging to all of you. This live was not nearly as torturous as previous lives. So thank you all. Thank you so much. And have a good one.